This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. There are more questions into the operations of TasTAFE this evening, with a right to information document showing the company's bosses have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on travel and expenses in the last 2 years. The government insists an independent audit will probe the spending and is shifting the blame to the previous government.
TasTAFE under scrutiny today, with revelations more than $230,000 has been spent using taxpayer-funded credit cards or on expense claims in the last 2 years. Among the spending under question, former Deputy CEO Laurie Hocking, who spent more than $70,000 on travel and accommodation, whereas former CEO Stephen Conway spent more than $27,000.
I'm hoping that what we're seeing alleged in TAFE isn't happening across the entire government.
The expenses were accumulated under the current government's watch, but it asserts the previous government appointed the executives.
We are there and we've been cleaning up the mess.
The allegations that have been aired again today clearly show that this minister did not have his hands on the wheel, that he is not in charge of what is happening in his agency.
An Integrity Commission audit was announced in May following allegations of nepotism within the agency. It will also investigate the use of state government credit cards and TasTAFE's travel and entertainment policy.
Those matters will be considered as part of the audit process, and that'll take place over the next 12 months.
We need to ensure the viability and the sustainability and the integrity of the system far quicker than that.
The Greens calling for more stringent regulations for those in authority.
If the government wants to consider more money into education for the Integrity Commission and a crime of misconduct, that would go some way to improving the situation in Tasmania.
TasTAFE declined to comment. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A 25-year-old man has appeared in court charged with manslaughter over a fatal Newtown crash almost 2 weeks ago. The charges allege he was driving at excessive speed and disobeyed a stop sign. Our reporter Michael Breen has more.
Zach James Muir-Bennett appeared here at the Hobart Magistrates Court this morning. His lawyer asked for the matter to be adjourned without plea and made no application for bail. He's charged over a two-car crash at Newtown almost 2 weeks ago that claimed the life of 42-year-old Vanessa Claire Hayward. The charges allege Mr Muir-Bennett failed to take reasonable precautions and care to avoid danger to human life, in that he drove at excessive speed in all the conditions, exceeded the speed limit, failed to take reasonable precautions to avoid a collision, failed to keep proper lookout and failed to obey a stop sign. A group of the accused friends and family were in court for today's appearance and yelled messages of support as Mr Muir-Bennett was led away. He's due to appear here at the Hobart Magistrates Court again in 2 weeks.
A Tasmanian family is tonight without a home after fire tore through their weatherboard house late last night. Fire investigators were back at the Penguin property today trying to determine what happened.
The top floor of this King Edward Street home turned to rubble after fire broke out in its lounge room soon after 8 o'clock last night. Firefighters say the homeowner left the property for a short time but didn't turn off the heater.
When he's arrived back on scene, he's seen a lot of smoke and heat. He's gotten straight out, called 000. By that stage, the fire had taken hold, and of its timber construction, the fire spread rapidly.
The blaze so intense the glow lit up the street. The exact cause is still being determined, but investigators believe the heater played a role.
It was in close proximity to a mattress and a couch, both sort of combustible materials.
Neighbouring properties are just metres away, but luckily the fire service was able to control the blaze in around half an hour and save it from spreading. With the cause believed to be accidental, the fire service is again urging Tasmanians to remain vigilant. They're reminding everyone to turn off appliances and never leave any heating source unsupervised.
If you have a heater on, don't leave it unattended, and don't have any sort of combustible materials, clothes, mattresses, that sort of thing, within 2 metres.
The damage bill is estimated to be around $350,000. What remains of the house is expected to be demolished. Monika Dadson at Southern Cross News.
Two Georgetown men have been charged with possessing and uttering counterfeit $50 notes. It's alleged the duo, aged 22 and 43, have used the notes across the state's north. They will both appear in the Launceston Magistrates Court at a later date. Tasmania Police says its investigation into counterfeit money will continue. Anyone who sees fake $50 notes or knows who's circulating them should contact Crime Stoppers. The state government says Hobart's Parliament Square project is on track to being completed in time, with new offices set to open in a few months. An included 128-room hotel is expected to open at the end of next year.
That'll be pretty exciting for Hobart too, and that pretty much picks up most of the rest of the site where Murray Street, Davey Street and Salamanca Place. It's really great to see the old buildings given new lease of life.
The Salamanca Place site is expected to be revealed in 2 weeks. King Island's world-renowned golf course, Cape Wickham Links, has officially sold. The news was confirmed on the course's Facebook page earlier today. It's unclear exactly how much it sold for, but real estate agents were expecting it to fetch more than $20 million when it first went on the market. Duncan Andrews bought the land in 2013 before opening the course 2 years ago. New management will take over mid-August. Tasmania's Antarctic sector is estimated to be worth around $180 million every year. But our state has competition and isn't the only gateway to the icy continent. A new research project is now underway to help leverage Hobart's position.
The Aurora Australis sitting on Hobart's waterfront today. The Antarctic icebreaker, a regular visitor and a bright reminder of our state's links to the icy continent.
We're the home of the orange ships. You know, we've got the Aurora Australis here and of course the French vessel, L'Astrolabe. But not only that, we've got CAMLA here, we've got the UTAS, IMAS and CSIRO.
The importance of the Antarctic sector is the focus of a new research project launched today. It will look at Hobart's strengths and weaknesses as a launching pad for Antarctic expeditions and research, and will compare it with similar gateway cities, Christchurch and Punta Arenas.
All the cities compete for obvious reasons. You know, there's scarce resources and they need to develop their competitive advantages.
Tasmania has strong historical links to Antarctica, and researchers hope to deepen these links with young people.
One of the really exciting things about this project is that through our online serious game, we're going to select a young person from each city and take them to the Antarctic Peninsula and have them explore ideas around an Antarctic Youth Forum.
The findings will be revealed at a major Antarctic conference to be held in Hobart in 2020. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A group advocating the return of North Hobart to the TSL is hailing a decision last night allowing members to decide who sits on the Hobart City Demons Board. The change is seen as a step towards returning the club to a North Hobart identity. Hobart City Demons was created as a result of a failed merger attempt between North Hobart and the Hobart Tigers. A vote on whether to rename the club is likely to be held next month. From behind bars at Risdon Prison comes an unlikely art fraternity. Inmates have put together a new exhibition expressing how they feel through paintings and carvings.
These polished masterpieces look right at home in a studio gallery, but their origins paint a different picture. The artists are inmates depicting the outside world from inside prison.
Express something that I haven't been able to express with my mouth, but I can do it in a picture or a drawing.
Emotions which are usually isolated within the walls of jail, often dealing with harsh themes, including violence and loss.
I think it's challenging dealing with some of the vulnerability and hurt in the lives of the inmates.
Diane Reynoldson hosts the art classes. She says many inmates are sceptical at first before starting to engage. One step on the road to healing and rehabilitation.
They actually find that they can do this.
Every prisoner has a story, and we hope that the themes enable them to tell their story, and it's a painful journey for some.
Art from inside is open to the public at Waterside Pavilion until Sunday. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian students are being encouraged to consider a career in engineering. Year 9 and 10s today getting an insight into the profession at the University of Tasmania. Organisers hope the experience inspires more young women to become engineers.
In Australia, there's only 13% of engineers are women, yet it's so important to actually have diversity in the engineering professions.
The number of girls studying engineering subjects in years 11 and 12 is declining. It's hoped activities like today's can turn that around. Moona Primary School is taking NAIDOC Week celebrations to the next level. Students wearing red, black and yellow clothing linking together to form an Aboriginal flag. The depiction was part of a whole school assembly. NAIDOC Week celebrates the culture and history of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It seems the cold isn't deterring Tasmanians from hitting the shops, with new figures revealing our retail turnover has again increased. In May alone, Tasmanian retailers raked in more than $516 million. The Australian Bureau of Statistics reports showing in trend terms, turnover from April to May rose by 0.4%. That means the state's retail turnover growth has risen for 31 consecutive months. With more on business and finance, with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund, the share market has posted its strongest session of 2017, driven by gains across all sectors. The ASX 200 index has risen by 99.3 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 76.15 US cents and 67.05 euro cents.
Despite Tasmania's AFL draft drought last time around, the future of football in the state is looking bright thanks to some recent performances from our young guns. I caught up with state under-17 coach Trent Bommeler today, following 2 big wins on the trot for the side. Fresh from yesterday's 5-point win over Queensland, Tasmania's under-17 coach had a bit to say about his promising young squad.
14 points down with 10 minutes to go, so the boys really had to find a different way to win, and they just basically had to find a way. So that was the most pleasing thing, that they dug in and, found a way together. In the absence of the state's 2 most exciting draft prospects in Taryn Thomas on Allies duties and Chase Jones still recovering from injury, the side made a 2 from 2 in the under-17 series following their dominant 64-point win over New South Wales last month. Having trained as a group just once before that match, the coaching group has been awed by what they've seen. Jamison House from Burnie was fantastic. He had about 16 touches yesterday, kicked 2 goals, kicked the goal to put us ahead. Our backline was very strong, consistent. So Lachlan Godomski from the Tigers and Mitch Anderton and Matthew McGuinness from Lauderdale were very consistent, and through the middle of the ground, our captain Nick Baker from Hobart City was fantastic. With AFL talent scouts watching closely, the 2018 draft could be shaping up as one of Tasmania's best showings in recent times, sending a big message to the football world that the latest draft drought was nothing more than a one-off. Yeah, absolutely. This age group is one that we've been excited about for a little while now. Well, it's one of the most incredible winning streaks in Tasmania in recent history, with the Hobart Zebras sealing their 20th victory in a row over the weekend as they race towards the league title. In a further boost, Chris Hay has renewed his contract with the club for another season. Now one of his star players, Zebras captain Matty O'Brien, first planted the idea in Hayes' head last year when he was coaching the men's side.
Maddie had a conversation with me and sort of said, you should come along and coach the women's program. And I just responded and said, look, if they sack me, I'll do that. So. And that's exactly how it played out, with the Zebras sacking Hay at the end of 2016 in favour of Peter Saville. He signed on to coach the women's program, and fast forward to the weekend's 5-0 win over University, the Super League side have now claimed all 20 of their 2017 matches, one of the longest winning streaks in Tasmanian football history. I've enjoyed this year. I didn't know whether I would initially, but it's been a fantastic journey. After taking out the pre-season summer and women's statewide cup trophies earlier this year, the Zebras sit 6 points clear on the top of the PFD Super League ladder. But the club says there's no certainties. We've got to pretty much win the next 2 games against Lonnie City and Olympia that we've got coming up, which is going to be really, really tough. What is now set in stone is Hayes' commitment to the club, re-signing as head coach for 2018. One of my first sentence I said to the girls is, I'm here to coach footballers, not women. And the response from them was, that's good. You know, we want to be footballers.
It's turned out really well. The girls have approached him with open eyes and ears, which is great. So we're looking forward to the future with him.
Good evening and happy 4th of July to everyone. A day we celebrate everything great about America, the hot dog, the macaroni and cheese, the donut, the burger, the hamburger, invented by a young fellow in New Haven, Connecticut in the year 1900. Wash it down with a Budweiser and you've got the full picture. Hobart 11 today, Launceston 12, 14 for Burnie and Devonport 13 degrees. King Island and Friendly Beach is the top with 15 today. Lake St Clair the low with -6. Wynyard and Smithton 14, Flinders Island, Low Head and Campania 13. Strawn 10 today. Grove 8, Bushy Park 6 and Lyoweeney 5. There is middle and upper level cloud that can be seen rotating around a low which is just to the west of Tasmania. More cloud over the Bight is linked to a cold pool of air and low cloud evident over southern parts of the mainland. The close-up shows extensive cloud over the state, also the low just near our west coast circulating there. Tomorrow the system moves southeast with several associated troughs. A front will cross Western Australia while a high looks after the rest of the country. Northwest to southwest winds at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the west and at times over the northeast. Strong wind warning current for waters between Cape Portland and St Helens and also from Low Rocky Point to Sandy Cape. So slippery conditions tomorrow and a shower or two for Hobart 13, top of 12 for Jeeves. 11 the high for Bothwell. Launceston, partly cloudy, cool overnight, a top of 13 for Devonport with a possible shower, Cressy a possible shower and 12. For Burnie, a shower or two and 13 degrees. Strawn, rain, possible storm, 12 the top and 13 for Curry on King Island. St Helens, sunny and 14. Morning shower clearing from Swansea, 14 the top and 13 for Orford. On Thursday, showers over the west, far south and Bass Strait Islands, otherwise fine. A frosty start to Friday with showers again in the west extending to the north in the afternoon. And on Saturday, showers becoming more widespread with snow to the 700 metre level. Showers for Perth, Adelaide and in Melbourne, sunny and 21 in Sydney, cloudy weather for Brisbane, a possible morning shower for Cairns and Darwin.
That's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a bit later. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.
Daily pressure.